Hey, 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 it's the smiling yogi coming at you. Namaste. Let's just find a comfortable seat. Now, for you, you might choose to lean way back, slide your hips way back so that your back is fully supported by the back of your chair, or shift your weight a little further forward so your feet are flat on the floor. And see if you can get more length through the spine. Bring your palms to rest on your knees. Close your eyes. Start to breathe in and out through the nose. And initially, I would say you're sort of a fly on the wall, so to speak, and you're just watching, not manipulating the breath in any way, shape, or form, just observing how the chest rises and falls, how the tummy expands and contracts. And without judging, maybe you'll notice if there's some tension anywhere in the body, you get to acknowledge it. Again, we're not going to judge it, it's just an awareness. And if you discovered a pocket of tension, maybe just moving your physical form a little bit can address that tension. Or maybe focus a little bit, focus the breath directed to that pocket of tension or those pockets of tension. And then as you exhale, maybe the sensations subside. Maybe if you're sitting forward in your seat, you might decide, yeah, maybe I need to sit back and allow the seat to support me until I ground myself. But as best you can, I'll ask you to allow yourselves to land in the now. Try to really gift yourself this time that you've carved out for yourselves. Use this time to check in. We'll use this time right now specifically to scan for tension. Let's start at the crown of the head. Move your way to your forehead. Check that the space between your eyebrows is free of tension. Release any tension in your cheeks, your lips, your tongue, your jaw, your neck, your shoulders. Allow the arms to maybe dangle out of the shoulder girdle a little bit more. No tension in your chest. No tension in your abdomen. Maybe you can bring a little more ease into your hips so that you might feel the thigh bones getting a little bit heavier. Maybe more weight settles into the points of your feet that are in contact with the floor. And let the points of the body that are in contact with the physical world remind you that you are here. Today, in this moment. And maybe you can embrace the notion, this concept that where you are right now is where you are meant to be. So by racing ahead or lingering in the past, you miss what's there for you now. Maybe it's a lesson to learn. Maybe it's a blessing for you to count. So drop into the now. And we'll come back to judging the sensations, right? So just in general, I would encourage you not to judge, but certainly as the breath is feeding you information, you want to receive it and then use it so that it becomes a powerful part of your practice. Maybe there is a discovery, there's a blockage that you can use the breath to breathe through so that you, after this time, our time together today, you will feel more like yourself. By yourself, I mean your essence, your uniqueness. Feel free to turn on your ujjayi breathing. So while breathing in and out through the nose, your lips are gently pressed together. You're producing a swirling sound in the back of your slightly restricted throat. Continue with your ujjayi breathing if you turned it on. And I encourage you to continue to go deeper into self. By allowing the breath to shed, to strip away old images of self, who you were, where you were, you get to show up as you are today. And if you choose to, you get to share everything that has brought you to this moment. Step into the fullness of the life that you've led thus far. And it is unique to you. Although the experiences may be shared or similar, the cocktail that makes you you is an amalgamation again of everything that has brought you here. And by playing yourselves small, right, by allowing yourselves to be confined by what maybe others think of you, you deprive the universe of the full intensity of you. So maybe for the next few moments, you allow your authentic self to rise to the surface and you celebrate everything that makes you you. Why not? Let's find your Anjali Mudra. Bring the thumbs to press together in the heart space. And take a moment to set an intention for your time today on your mat, in your seat. You may choose to dedicate your efforts to someone in particular, to a group of people, or maybe you'll just send a little bit of extra love out into the universe. Let's breathe in together for 3 rounds of Om. Inhale, nice and deep. Um, 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 Bring your hands to rest on your knees again. If you're sitting back in your seat, I'll suggest that you move forward so your feet are flat on the mat and your knees maybe they're roughly stacked right over your ankles. Lift the shoulders up by your ears. Move the shoulder blades towards each other. Move the shoulder blades towards your hips. And then move the tips of the shoulders forward, broadening the shoulder blades away from each other. Lift the shoulders up by your ears, and then smooth the circle of the shoulder rolls to the back out. Smooth them out. Your hands are probably sliding along your thighs, or you can have your arms right by your side. That's also fine by me. The next time your shoulders come up by your ears, we'll reverse that pattern. Move the tips of the shoulders forward. Don't rush through. Hug the shoulder blades towards your hips. Squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other. And lift the shoulders up by the ears again. And smooth out those shoulder rolls to the front. Again, maybe your hands are sliding along your thighs. Maybe you have your arms by your side. Whatever works best for you. The next time the shoulders come up by the ears, keep them there. As you exhale, bring your hands to your thighs, soften the shoulder blades down the back. You can look over your right shoulder. And then look over your left shoulder. Look over your right shoulder. Float your left arm straight out to the side about shoulder height and push through the heel of that hand. Try to get a little more length through your left elbow crease. You're going to make a fist with that left hand and just start to circle that left wrist out in one direction. And then circle the wrist out in the other direction. And then flex that wrist again, push the heel of the hand, rotate your nose to face forward, and now let the right ear settle towards your right shoulder. Take your left hand, or right hand, bring it to rest on the left side of your face. And maybe the right ear gets closer to the right shoulder. Maybe you can push through the heel of that left hand with a little more conviction. You're going to keep that left wrist flexed to start to lower the left arm along the left side body. And push through the heel of the hand as if you could bring the heel of your hand to touch the floor while still gently pulling the right ear towards the right shoulder. From here, rotate your nose towards your right armpit and then just adjust your hand so it's in the left rear quadrant of your head. And let's bring the right ear back towards the right shoulder. Relax your left wrist. Take your right hand over to the right side of your face. And use your hand to bring your neck to neutral. So both arms high, look up. Palms pressed together overhead. Bring your hands to your thighs. See if you can puff up the chest a little bit more. You're going to keep your shoulder blades moving your heart forward. Just start to pull your tummy towards your thighs. You're looking up for as long as you can. And then at some point, let your head fall off the top of the spinal column. Let your chin move towards your chest. Press your hands into your thighs and start to round the spine. Chin stays tucked towards your chest for as long as you can as you stack one vertebra on top of the next. And then again, squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other. Look up at the ceiling and then move your heart forward. Tummy goes closer to your thighs. Let your head hold off the top of the spinal column. And then again, rounding the spine, rolling your lips, sit. One more time, puff up the chest. Squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other. And then move your torso forward. And let the head get heavy, chin into your chest, and slowly make your neck to sit. Nice and tall, come back to neutral. From here, you're going to look over your left shoulder. and then your right shoulder. Look over your left shoulder and just stay there. You're going to take your right arm straight out to the side about shoulder height. And then see if you can get a little more energy to move through your right elbow crease. See if you can maybe curl the right fingertips towards your forearm a little bit more. Really push, push, push with the heel of your hand. We're going to make a fist here with the right hand and just start to circle out that right wrist. And then circle your wrist in the other direction. Let's flex the right wrist again. And bring your nose to neutral. Let the right arm settle towards the right side body and let your left ear settle towards your left shoulder. You're going to take your left hand, bring it to rest on the right side of your face and see if you can maybe get some more sensations on the right side of your neck. Maybe you can get the heel of your right hand a little bit closer to the floor. We're now going to rotate so that your nose moves towards your left armpit. You might press the chin, your chin into your left pec tissue. Move your left hand to the right rear quadrant of your head. And you can use the weight of your hand to maybe generate some more sensations. Or bring that left ear back towards the left shoulder. You relax that right wrist. And then take your left hand over to the left side of your face. Use your hand to bring your neck back to neutral. And let's float both arms high. Palms are going to press together overhead. Now from here, as you exit, we're going to take an easy twist. Take your left hand to your left knee or to your right knee or maybe the outside of your knee or your thigh. And then if you have an arm to your seat, just take your right hand and press it down. And then keep the knees as even as possible. If you wanted to step your feet together, you could also do that. And we're just going to start to rotate to the right. Try not to let your left hip roll forward. You look over the right shoulder, you might see the wall behind you. And let's come back to center. Float the right arm up, and that right hand is going to go to the outside of your left knee or thigh. And you'll take your left hand either to your seat or to the arm of your chair. Try to keep the big toes and the sitting bones grounded into the mat or to the floor, and you'll eventually look over your left shoulder. Whether you see the wall behind you or not as important as keeping your foundation as stable as possible. And then in time, you'll find more rotation. Great, let's come back to center, float the left arm up. And you're going to take your left hand over your right. You're going to so you want your elbows crossed, and I'm going to say, maybe you bring the backs of your hands to touch, or maybe the palms pressed together with your left arm over the right. If this is not for you, just wrap your fingertips around your shoulder blades. See if you get the shoulder blades to move away from each other. Try not to let the upper arms rest on your chest, and then just start to float the fingertips closer to the ceiling and let the nose indicate to the ceiling. Your upper arms might eventually press into your chin, lifting higher. So the fingertips can absolutely be wrapped around your shoulder blades. From here, let's bring the elbows into your belly button, chin into your chest. If your knees are together, just start to heel toe them away from each other. So let the thighs get wide enough that in time, you just start to allow the torso to melt through your thighs. Relaxing, letting go, letting go. And depending on your range of motion, your fingertips might even come in contact. Breathing deeply all the way down to the tip of the tailbone. Great. And here you go, elbows into your belly button. If you went deeper, then you're start to roll your way back up. When you come up to sit nice and tall, unwrap the arms, float them high, bring the palms to press together. And then we'll change that. Take your left hand to your right knee, take your right hand over to the left knee. So now we have the right arm on top. We're gonna bend those elbows and see if you can bring your palms to press together, or maybe the backs of your hands press together, or you wrap your fingertips around your shoulder blades. The right arm is over this time. See if you can maybe get the shoulder blades to move further away from each other. Try to get the upper arms at least parallel to the floor. And here we go. Inhale, let the elbows start to float higher, arms float higher, fingertips float higher. You have your eagle arms. Nose indicates to the ceiling. If that's for you, upper arms might even eventually press into your chin and lift the chin even higher. And here we go. Exhale, bring your elbows into your belly button. And yeah, we're just letting the spine round. And you'll get to a place where it feels like there are enough sensations, whereas it warrants you to stop. If you ever feel a sharp pain, stop. If you want to go deeper, just let the torso keep melting forward, and eventually maybe your shoulders go past your thighs. Just keep melting down. And depending on your range of motion, your fingertips might eventually come in contact with the floor. Deep breath in. Exhale, let go of something. And slowly start to roll up. So press the big toes down into the floor. Press the sitting bones down into your chair. Elbows into your belly button, stacking one vertebra on top of the next. You'll eventually make your way up to sit nice and tall. Unwrap your arms. Float them high. Take your arms out to the side. We're gonna kind of play with sort of like these walk like an Egyptian arms. So you're gonna rotate bend the right elbow so the fingertips point up, bend the left elbow, the fingertips point down. You're gonna look over your right shoulder. And then we'll flip it. Look over your left shoulder, let the left fingertips reach back, right fingertips reach down. And switch it, look over to the right. Over to the left. Over to the right. And over to the left. Great, come back to neutral and shake it out. So I'm just gonna say we're gonna stand up and sit back down a few times. If you need your hands on your thighs, okay. If you need your hands on your seat, okay. Otherwise, see if you can just lift out of the pelvic floor, press the big toes into the mat floor, and then use your hamstrings and lift up. And then stick the booty out as you come back to sit. And it will stand up again. And again, take your time, take your time. Try to control the move. And again, you'll come up to stand. And you'll have another. This time we'll come up to stand. And I'll turn to the side. Feet about hips width apart, just bend your knees, let your chin settle towards your chest, and you're slowly going to roll down. Bend your knees so they're soft. And just let one vertebra fall away from the next. When you get all the way down to what's your end range of motion, I'm going to suggest that you take hold of your elbows. Doesn't matter which arm you have wrapped over. Just going to tug on those elbows and feel that maybe your forearms can get a little bit closer to the floor. Relax your neck and shoulders and just start to sway gently from side to side. Torso's gently swaying from side to side. Knees are bent. Relax your neck and shoulders. Change the cross of your arms and continue to tug on the elbows as you sway from side to side. Great. We'll eventually come to center and release your fingertips to the floor if that's for you, or the palms to the floor. You'll bend your knees a little bit more, chin to your chest, let the hips sink a little bit lower, and slowly roll your way up to stand nice and tall, just stacking one vertebra on top of the next. When you make your way up to stand nice and tall, 3 big old shoulder rolls to the back. 3, 2, 1. Great. So we're going to come to your chair, to your seat. And I'm going to ask you to flip your fingertips. You're going to externally rotate your arms so the fingertips are going to point towards your thighs. And you get to dictate how far forward you want to be or how far back you want to be to just generate some more sensations in your forearms. If you're happy here, stay here. If it's too much, maybe shift the weight a little further forward so you're not in as deep flexion in the wrists. If you need to bend your knees, of course, bend your knees. But if you want to make it a little more interesting, start to shift your weight back. Try to keep the heels of your hands pressing down into the seat of your chair. Spread the fingers out wide. And now you're going to start to shift your weight over to your left, shift it forward, over to the right, and back. So we're doing some circles here. Try to have a moment where each one of the knuckles is receiving the bulk of the weight. Trying to have that level of specificity in the movement. So we've been in the shoulders a little bit, the thoracic spine a little bit, our hands, because they all lead to the fourth point of the chakra pole on Hatha, which is your love zone. And as I'm asking you or encouraging you to embrace everything that's brought you to this moment, I call that cultivating more compassion for self. The next time you make your way forward, you just circle in the other direction. And as you cultivate more compassion for self, you find that you forgive yourself if you need to for something that's happened in the past, maybe the way you reacted. You get to do things differently, right? That's growth. That's a part of the evolution. So allow yourselves to learn the lesson. Great. The next time you make your way forward, we're going to come out of that. Just flip your fingertips to point forward. And roll your way up to stand. We're going to make fists again and start to circle your wrists. And while circling your wrists, let the arms start to float higher and higher and higher. And then you'll circle the wrists in the other direction. Take your time. And the arms will start to float out to the side. Great. And then just shake it out. Shake out the wrists, shake out your legs, shake out your shoulders, whatever it is. And let's have another seat. And again, you get to decide, maybe you want to sit all the way back in your chair, maybe you're sitting pretty far forward. That is up to you. But this time I'll say bring the backs of your hands to rest on your knees. Palms facing up is a sign of surrender. And again, I'll encourage you to surrender, to let go of what was. Now, maybe 10 years ago, my son was still a teenager. I was trying to have a teachable moment with him because he had done something that I didn't think was cool. And we talked about it, and he eventually said to me in his teenage wisdom, "Yeah, Daddy, you're right. I'll take the lesson and not the loss." So I say to you, surrender. Let go if you feel like you've had some losses along the way. Just take the lesson, learn from the past, allow yourselves to do things in a way that are reflective of all the work you've done thus far. Share one more quote with you. Letting go is hard. Holding on is hard. Let's find your Anjali Mudra. Bring the thumbs to press into the heart space. I encourage you, as always, to take your practice with you. Allow it to arm you as you navigate your way through your moment to moment existence. Try to remain less reactive. Stay in your place of peace, always letting your light shine. One round of Om, deep breath in. Om. The light in me bows to the light in you. Bowing forward, namaste.
Thank you.